Thoughts on this Reddit thread. M'Baku should be the next Black Panther, not anyone else. You know, I love the support that I've gotten from the fans. It's been everything from I love M'Baku to I want M'Baku to blow my back out. So to be honest, I like all the responses. Hey everyone, this is Winston Duke. Esquire magazine has asked me to explain some things about my life and my career, so let's do it. Tell us about the Black Panther audition. The Black Panther audition was one of, I would say it lasted maybe a couple months. I knew nothing about what I was auditioning for. It was top secret. It was just said to be untitled Marvel property at the time. And I went in and I'm seeing all these people that I knew, like Sterling K. Brown, Michael Jai White, and all these like people that I said, oh man, I'm not getting this. They said Ryan Coogler would like to meet you. And then I got in there and it was Chadwick and myself at the screen test. And they just kept saying, do more stuff, you know, can you guys wrestle? So we wrestled and I split my pants. My underwear was out and everything. And I was like, you know what? If I don't book this job, you guys gotta buy me new pants. Like for the least, you guys gotta get me some new pants. Thoughts on this Reddit thread. M'Baku should be the next Black Panther, not anyone else. You know, I love the support that I've gotten from the fans. I think the strength of Black Panther has always been the ensemble, you know what I mean? It's always been Black Panther's had to lean on everyone around him. Whether M'Baku's the next anything, it's still gonna be a great ensemble piece. Would we like to see a third film? Of course, we would love to see a third, fourth, fifth, sixth film. There's so many cool things left to tell about this saga. I myself, as a fan, would love to see how everything plays out. Yeah, it's kind of cool though being revealed as the King of Wakanda at the end of the movie. That's huge. So whatever that entails, it's gonna be a fun one. What are the important characteristics of a king? I think they're very similar to being the characteristics of a queen. I think any power of authority and leadership is gonna be defined by their willingness to think of the greater good for everyone instead of their own personal needs and their own agendas, which is, you know, easier said than done, you know, given the history of the world. Queen Ramonda in Black Panther is just the most sacrificial queen. She even has a line where she says, I've lost my husband, my children, everything for this country. Have I not given enough? Oh man, Angela's one of those icons that it's so surreal to just be in her presence every day. Because I grew up watching Angela Bassett, What's Love Got to Do with It? You know, Waiting to Exhale, where she throws that cigarette into the car and it explodes. And I'm gonna take this time to say thank you. Thank you, Angela. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for everything you continue to do. And thank you for the space that you occupy unapologetically. What was the first thing that happened when I put on that costume? M'Baku costume is so heavy. I had some swimming scenes in the final fight that got cut because my boots were too heavy. Unless they wanted me to anchor the boat. I said, I can't really be the guy that's like fighting in the water. I remember asking to change some of my fight movements because I said, he's a tank, essentially. So on the battlefield, I said I want to fight like a cannonball. Like if I can run into people and if I can take a hit and like throw a big blow, so large, big, you know, impactful swings and things like that. Yeah, so the fans' theories are right. She is the new Black Panther. Rightfully so. It follows the story of the comic books and it makes a lot of sense that, you know, it stays within the Panther tribe and family. She does an incredible job as the new Black Panther. 15 Black Panther fan theories that are actually plausible. They're all really good. They're all really great. I think plausible, I would say the Jabari tribe have a secret garden of heart-shaped herbs. You never know. You never know. They do garden. And Baku became the king of Wakanda during the time skip. Very plausible. They did lose T'Challa in the time skip and the Great Snap. Vibranium radiation could lead to humanity's evolution in the MCU. Well, the MCU did just include the mutants, so that could be something. But that would mean that all of Wakanda and all of Talokan would already be evolved, and that's not true yet. So that one I think is the least plausible. What techniques did I use to create my us personas? That was a really fun process working on Us with Jordan Peele. It was a little bit of a catfish because you read the script and the script is really tight. It's like 90 pages long, and then you're in your prep work and you realize, oh, I'm shooting 2 movies. I'm shooting 1 movie as the family, and I'm shooting 1 movie as the red antagonist, trying to figure out what are the weaknesses that they share and how it manifests in 2 different bodies and 2 different circumstances. That was a pretty cool challenge to embark on. Fan Reddit thoughts, I would make a great Hellboy. You know what? I would kill that. That's a slam dunk. I would kill Hellboy. I would be a great Hellboy amongst many other characters. So yeah, I like this thought. Tell us about the first time you met Chadwick Boseman. First time I met Chadwick was at my screen test for Black Panther, and he was just very calm, quiet, and really generous. I could tell that he was willing to play. I said I was ready to jump into the scene, and he was like, "You don't want to rehearse?" I was like, "Nah, I got this. I'm ready to go." And ever since, I felt like he had a lot of respect for me. I had a lot of respect for him. He was very generous just with advice and everything else on set, so that was a really great thing. Every time I met him, he always had like a good thing to say to me, or try this, or how you been? Like he was always just very generous to me. The internet loves your thighs. Can you share your leg day routine? Yeah, the internet seems to love my thighs. I've been a little shameless this past year, you know. I did not need to sit that wide at all, but I did. I have no regrets. Explain your approach to personal style. So my personal style is I like to, 1, feel comfortable. And feeling comfortable means that I'm being really true to myself. I'm from the Caribbean, so I come from a culture of really bright, vibrant colors. I'm a student of history and a global citizen, so I know men all over the world wear kilts, skirts, sarongs, and they're super masculine and strong. So I think there's often really limiting choices in Western fashion. Stay away from all that. I like wearing what makes me feel comfortable and makes me feel strong and works with my body. I'm 6'5", like 280. Yeah, I said that. I'd love to see a spinoff for M'Baku. I said it before and I'll say it again. The Jabari culture is so rich. There's so much. They are an entity unto themselves in the mountains. And in the process, we did a lot of work. We did a lot of work to ground it in specifically Igbo culture. The small things, the grunts, like, you know, if I just make a noise, my guys start responding because those are things that we, in rehearsal, started playing with. And I feel like if you get a spin-off that we get to learn what things mean and why they're special and dive into that culture, it would be something really special. What's your own theme song that plays in your head? I don't really have a particular theme song, but different songs play in my head for a different reason. I just recently lost my mother, and you know, there's a song called Good Times that I've been playing in my head on repeat for like the last couple weeks. She's been gone for 2 weeks. And it's just about love and friendship. She was my best friend. So that song's just kind of always in my head on repeat at the moment. So you're on a desert island, you can only choose one album. What is it and why? I've been listening to a lot of Tupac lately, and I think I will take the All Eyes on Me album. Timeless energy and intention. And he was very clear about who he was and what he wanted. You can listen to that album over and over and it never gets old. And that's it. So thank you for watching, and that's it. That's a little bit about my life and a little bit about my career.